Stage. Hey gang, breakfast with Michael. Nobody's here, but that's fine because I'm eating my breakfast. Just took Yoshi for a walk, and hopefully someone will come. We'll talk about guitars and stuff. So it is 8:15 in the morning. My wife is in Santa Barbara with her buddies, and I'm alone. I didn't make any coffee yet. Dang. Okay, look. You get to look at you can't. You get to look at my bagel for a minute. I gotta get my coffee. What? I'm making the coffee. It'll take 10 seconds. Nothing to worry about. Oh, where's my? Oh, here we go. That. Yeah. Yeah. Halfway done already. Probably no one's here anyway. It's totally fine. Nothing to worry about. Oh, there's someone there. I think. I'll be right there. No ice. Son of me. That is the worst. Okay. I might have a new plan of attack. I'll be right there making coffee. Hold tight. I didn't plan well. They planned really poorly. I'm gonna think of this as the opening crawl, title crawl. Well, it's not my day to have coffee. No pancakes. Oh man, I love me some pancakes. Anytime I go to a restaurant, no matter what time of day it is, if there's pancakes on the menu, it's a contender. Full-blown contender. Browns fan, good morning. Hello. Hello, Cleveland and Dale. Good morning. Thanks for joining me, guys. This is a cool thing. Unsponsored. And this is good. This is a raw one today. You can tell I'm just sitting in the kitchen. So there's this I was at the mall buying shorts for the summer or something. And so this brand Kemper, they had a little kiosk set up, right? And he's like, "You like coffee?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I like coffee." And he goes, "You want a free one?" And I said, "Hell yeah, I want a free one." And so he makes me this oat milk latte, and you just take the pod. It comes frozen, and you just drip it in. It's like concentrate. Dude, that's good. So you order them kind of like old school Netflix, and they just show up. Kind of expensive. Like, what is it? I think it's something like $60 a month, and you get it several. Lawrence, what's up? LPD. And then they ship you these coffee pods. And I was like, this is great. And at first, my wife didn't like it. She's like, I don't know. It's awesome. More for me. And then she started liking it. And now I get half the amount of coffees. And I got to order more. I don't know. There's a couple of things I don't mind splurging for. You know, I don't go crazy. I don't like spending $8 a pop for coffee at a shop because it's kind of silly. But I guess, you know, you go for the experience. So I do. I did yesterday after I had this coffee. That, a good bed. What else? What else do you splurge on? Oh, and I think a doctor. I used to go to the doctor and be pissed. I'm like, come on, dude. You want me to come back? You're just trying to fleece me for money. But I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? of all the things I shouldn't worry about spending money on, it's staying alive and healthy enough to work, you know? So I have a bit of a different perspective on my doctor stuff now, too. But, so anyway, that's that. Oh, and Peter Aarons, what's up, dude? Money from France. France, you get around. Brian, cancel bubble, shoes and hookers. You get what you pay for. Is that true? When I was picking up that coffee yesterday, I noticed there was like a sliver of a store two down in the like strip of stores. I've never seen such a small sliver of massage. And all I could think of was like, that is just the entryway to the back alley. Anyway. Hey, Michael Torn. How you doing? Oh, and Dave, what's up? Yeah, if anyone I'm on Sunday morning. I don't think Pete's on, but if Pete comes on, just let me know and I'll log out because I know there's like only so many times in the day that people could broadcast, but there's a couple people I don't want to jump on top of. He is one of, well, I could rephrase that. I'd probably phrase that differently, huh? But yes, I'll hold true. I don't want to jump on top of Pete. So there you go. So I had a super interesting week last week. Dave Friedman, Mario from Boutique Amp Distribution, and I had an adventure going to the Sweetwater Guitar Fest. I had never been to Indiana, and that was pretty cool. I'd been to Detroit before, so we went from LA. Live in LA, in case you haven't noticed that before. I'm constantly wearing LA stuff. LA to Detroit, because Dave's like, don't you want to eat some awesome food? I was like, yes, I do. So we stopped and had some amazing meals. I mean, it was just like nonstop great food. And it's like, it's gone up there to like, I love where I live now, and I'm tied down because I have children in school and stuff like that, and friends here. But boy, it would not be hard for me to just move to Detroit. I was digging it. That said, I have not had a winter in Detroit yet, so I don't know. I might need two houses. Excuse me, I'm on bagel duty, so I'm going to try and be as polite as possible here. This is my morning breakfast, almost every day. Bagel, peanut butter, and honey. I look forward to it almost as much as I look forward to my coffee. Really incredible. This makes me happy, man. So Detroit was so cool. I think it was the first night we got to hang out with Sammy Bowler. If you don't know Sammy Bowler, he just released a single, instrumental guitar single that's killer. He's a one of those guitar players that's like the gifted kind of guitar player. Great, and now he's with the Goo Goo Dolls, so he is where he belongs, on a big stage. So we hung out with him, which is always fun, and great bar. I mean, we were at a great restaurant, and then we walked across the street to a great bar, and it looked like there was two other great restaurants right across the street that were. It was a little late at that point, but awesome. We got to hang out with Dave Black one night. He's just a great person to hang out with. So interesting, and yeah, I mean, just kind of like seems like a man out of his era. If he was born in a different era, he would still be interesting. Yeah, so that was great. He actually recommended. Do I have it here? Having some like tendonitis. All right, quick story. Then I'll read through the comments. If you have any questions, please put them in there. But I'm just gonna babble for a while anyway. I was going to watch the F1 race, but then my wife said she was coming home early, so I'm going to wait and watch it with her. So I'm like, let me talk to my peeps. All right, so I have some killer. I have the Friedman pedal boards. They have numbers, so it's like 1529, 2034. I don't know. I have 3 of them for like ding ding ding. They're a little deep. So they're my favorite ones because they have a big under cavity, so you can put your power supplies and your buffer, and cables they disappear underneath it, which is really nice. I know, clean my lens. Is that it's an old laptop. I think that might be it, but let's see. Did that help? Charles, did that help? I don't know, did it help? Oh, I think it helped. Oh, thank you. Thanks for saying please. That's unusual on the internet. So, it's worse? Told you. I tell my wife that all the time. Like, the more I could cover my face, the better for everybody. I don't know. What was I talking about? Pedal boards. So I've been using those for a long time, and those are great. I also have the Friedman pedal power grid, and those are great, by the way. They say that they power, I think, 500 milliamps per output. But they can do a little more, which is nice because they'll cover almost everything, outside of like an old Line 6 thing that requires something special. Sometimes you need a 2-to-1 cable, but they're great. Anyway, the current paddle board setup that I wanted to do was a little more horizontal and less deep. I needed to access the front line of pedals, and I didn't want to go to the huge Friedman board because it got huge. So I was trying to be as economical in size as possible. So I bought the D'Addario Extends. I think that's a male performance pill. Extend. Not that I would know, right? The D'Addario Extend. Which is kind of cool because it's a smaller board, very much like a powertrain. Forgive me if you find this rude. We're just hanging out. But inside the powertrain, and then underneath, you could pull out another section, so you could extend it. Because every time I'm like, pedalboard's perfect, so I go, perfect, tear it apart, add one more thing, or take one thing off. So, God, I was excited. I'm like, this is great. And then, dude, they ship the Extend with the cheapest bullshit Velcro pre-installed, which made me, I was so mad. Why would you do that? Like, that's like some Bush League stuff. Look, look, I've had that on my boards before, but when you go to the next level of whatever it's called, dual lock, it's game changing because, like, all right, I never finished my other story, but anyway, here's your pedal board. Here's your pedal. You put it with the shitty Velcro, and the pedal will still do this, right? Because it's sitting on this puffy pile of soft stuff, and then you get it in your bag. Yo, Yoshi. Get it in your bag, and your bag knocks it off, and you open your bag, and you have like 3 pedals disconnected that have yanked cables. Like, unacceptable for moving around. If it's in your living room, who cares? That's fine. But so I had to take all that off. So scraping. Oh, this is the same story. I was scraping and pulling, and it's like 2 hours with a Gugon, a huge bucket of soap and water, scrapers and grabbers and stuff. And it totally gave me, like, activated my tendonitis in here from just like gripping like this. Sucks, especially right before we go into Guitar Fest. It's like, here's a guitar. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, it hurts. So I was talking to Dave Black, and he's like, you know what you need? You need horse Bengay. Right? So there's a little horse on there. So I order horse Bengay, and it shows up, and my wife's like, why the hell did you order horse Bengay? She used to ride horses, so she knew what it was, but it's like, that's my new kink. I went to Detroit, came back loving horse Bengay. Yeah, hide the paper towels, yeah. Down here. We just went on a walk, so I thought he was going to be a little more fit, but he's kind of fired up. Yeah, horse Bengay and pedal boards. Anyway, I got the dual lock on the extends, and it's working out kind of cool. I keep going back and forth. I had something really cool going. That was based around, I don't remember if I put up a picture, but it's based around the LPD pedals, which I was really enjoying. I have the Plexi, which is for 80s cover bands, so I have to cover a lot of sonic ground. So I can't just use a power station and crank the Plexi. I mean, I could, but I mean, here I'm going to say something controversial. The guitar is kind of an abrasive instrument, and like, unless it's just straight up heavy music or something, hard rocking, I think people will be like, can you chill out for a while? Can you give me a clean tone just for one song and refresh the palette? So when it comes back in with some Van Halen or something, you're like, oh, that's exciting again. But if it's just raging distortion all day long, if you're playing pop songs, it's a bit much. So yeah, I needed a variety of tones. I started messing with the pedals, and I mentioned in that last video, like I stumbled on, I stumbled back to the LPD pedals, and that 79 is just one of the best for that clang mid-gain era Marshall tone is just like great. So I was running pedals as the drives into the super lead, and we did a rehearsal at Mates. So thank you, Dave, for that. I forgot to mention that was awesome. Jeez, guys, like, oh yeah, you know, lots of people do lockouts on this place. You know, like, stop it. I'm trying to take my napkin. He's like, you know, Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses, you know, local cover band. Go sit down. You're okay. Go sit down. This is all day. Go sit down. Go lay down. It's okay. Can't have it. He steals napkins and paper towels. So if your napkin is anywhere grabbable, he'll just jump up and grab it like Jaws. I should train him. I don't know how. So I had rehearsal, and the pedal board was great. Worked fantastic. And then I tore it apart. So I'm like, there's something. Well, what happened is I was using effects from the H9, and there are things about the H9 that annoy me. Yeah, I think that would be. So I was thinking, like, I really want to have all my multiple pedals going, like the Boss SD E3, which is a small version of the SD 3000. It's awesome. Even the TC Electronic TSC Chorus Gold, but it's so big. I saw NewX makes a small one. I was thinking, but that's digital. It's not analog. I kind of feel there's some things kind of need to be analog. Your drives, chorus, unless you're going digital chorus, but like if you want that flanger, I haven't heard a digital flanger that does the thing. I have a little mini Ibanez flanger that just sounds awesome every time you plug it in. And I've tried all the big boys trying to emulate it, and it's like, oh, I guess it's a flanger. It just doesn't, there's a next level of magic that happens on effects. You can get a multi-effect from any generation. It's like, yeah, it does all the stuff. Reverb, chorus, delay, flanger, whatever. But if you have a bunch of like, fine, when you put it together, it doesn't elevate. it sinks. It's just a bunch of heavy weight. It's like, okay, now I got a bunch of fine. So I feel like if you have a bunch of great stuff, when they're together, they elevate. Things get lighter, and it's just like, whoa, I don't even have to think about the effects. And that's really what it's all about. I don't want to think about my overdrive pedal. I don't want to think about the reverb in the chorus. I want it to be right, and I just play. So anytime really a part of my rig is bringing attention to itself, it's not a good thing. It's like Darth Vader on the Death Star. You're like, you just want to keep your head down and do your work, because if Darth Vader sees you, you know you're going to get choked out. Like your progress report, how you're doing, it's never good. Just a little choke. All right, hey gang. Let me look through some of these and see if anyone's what you guys are talking about. And I can take a bite of this in the meantime. I can make this an ASMR video. Crunchy. Crunchy. Oh yeah, thanks. I put together that video on Motor City Guitars. That place is so cool. It really was impressive, and it was heartwarming to see like a store like that. Kind of didn't think there really were anymore. So that was super cool. After it came out, I did get emails from several other stores around the country that were like, "We're a good store too. Would you like to come visit?" So I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll come visit later." But not every store is the best country in the world, or the best guitar store in the world, or in the country, you know, because like well, I'll just, like Norms, famous. Some people love it. I go in there, and every time I'm like, womp womp womp. It's right down the street from us, so you know. It's just like when you walk in, like, I don't know. Isn't that the most welcoming vibe, unless you're Joe Bonamassa, I guess. Maybe it's me. Maybe I walk in like an asshole. Kick the door in. That's how you go into guitar stores, right? I kick it in. When I get 2 feet in, I put on my sunglasses. And I bring my own guitar, of course, with a strap. And I yell out, "Hey, plug me in." Did I see Nick Schechter, Nick John? Oh, wait, can I click on this? Oh, yeah, okay. I'm relearning how to do this. I'm going to try and do a weekly show. I just have to find out when to do it. Anyone have any ideas when a good time to do this is? It's 8:45 on Sunday a.m. right now, so just so you know where my time zone is. I was thinking maybe Friday at noon. Friday at noon? It'll be before any Tone Talks come on, before Filming Night comes on. Usually noon isn't too busy for work for me, so I don't know. All right, did I see Schechter's Nick Johnson 10th anniversary gold strat, $1,300. Look a pretty good deal. I didn't see that specifically, but I did get to play a Nick Johnson at Guitar Center, and I was returning a guitar that had exploded, broken headstock, but I had bought the Guitar Center protection, and so they gave me all my money back, which is the best day of my guitar life. But they had a Nick Johnson on the wall, and man, that's a good guitar. I played the cheaper ones and the more expensive ones, and they were all good. You know what it has that I hate? is, and there's some guitar companies that I passionately love that were doing it, but I think they mostly stopped doing it. Inlays that is just a circle, an open circle, not a dot, but a thin circle. And it's because I'm not that good, and occasionally I need to look down and see where I'm at. And if it's a tiny thin dot or a tiny thin ring that kind of blends into the wood, that sucker's gone and I can't see it. And then I'm annoyed. Just put a dot. Dots are fine. Yeah, he is fantastic. So humble too. You never know it. He's just like a guitar nerd. Like a super cool guitar nerd. Down low, low down cool. What do the kids say? Down low? Low key cool. That's what they say. Low key cool. Guitar Talk Universe. Hey, Big Hairy Guitars. Can you say hello to my little birds, Reggie and Todd? Reggie and Todd, little birdies. Do little birds live a long time? We had a good family friend that had parrots, and I think they live like to be 80 or something like that. I mean, when I say he had parrots, you go in the living room. The living room was like 4 huge cages that were about 5 feet tall. So cockatiel. I think he had one of those. Big commitment. I'm not going to live 80 more years, and then you got to give someone your birds. They dig anyone who owns a 2290. There we go. Good birdie. That's a good bird. Yeah, I like the night races. Those are really cool. Oh, it starts just looking like a video game, but it's cool. I can't imagine driving in that heat. It's nutso. Glare off the door behind me. I made it here. Let's see. Yeah, I know. There's not much I could do about that. Honestly, I'm kind of don't care that much. Do I have a Buddy G? Yes, I do have a Buddy G. I think it's really good. If I'm going for a bluesier, fattier, fusiony thing, it's one of the best. If I'm going for a rock thing, I feel like it's too fat and maybe I don't want to say soft because it's not soft. Round, a little fat and round. For like a hard rock, like AC/DC rock or heavy thing, but I think that's a great pedal. I'm not sure I love the tiny little nipple knobs, big knobs, and then little tiny knobs. And like the tiny knobs were actually useful knobs. I like if you're gonna put a little tiny knob, make it the thing you're like, look, I was gonna make it an internal trimmer, but I'm doing you a favor. I'm giving you a tiny little knob. Cool. But if it's like gain or tone or something, like just make it a knob. But it's a good one. I like that. I've never used a head rush. I hear good things. Good things. Oh, dude. Hey, look at that. Thank you. The road to Cormac McCarthy. That pays for at least my morning coffee pod. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, thanks. Hey, Braxel, my baker. Dude, let's just give a little appreciation to Robert Baker for the amazing stuff he's doing for the rocker YouTube guitar community, like pulling in Dan Huff and then Reb Beach. The things that dreams are made of there, and doing it in such a cool way, and it feels so natural. And so I have to assume, I haven't actually talked nuts and bolts to Robert about like how they're doing it and stuff, but I'm assuming like 99% of that's all Robert. So, you know, bless you, child. That's awesome. Awesome. Would you consider a really detailed profiling of the ADA MP1 with the new ToneX software? I have a previous package. I use it every day, by the way. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think I do have to go through. Actually bought a PC just to do some ToneX captures because even still the Mac is just too slow. So yes, but to be honest, I've done some version 2 ToneX captures and they are good. I had the same setup going. The V1s, did V2. I did short, long. I had all that stuff to compare. Like, what am I really getting out of this? It's not night and day. It's not like you went from a let's see, how do I? Not like you went from a Pod V1 to a Kemper. Where you're like, whoa, that's a big leap. As much as I think Kemper is still valid, and there are some great tones on the Kemper that you can do, but if I was gonna, as a marksman, when it does captures, it's kind of all over the map. Sometimes they stink, sometimes they're all right, and sometimes they're great. So the ToneX is a leap from that, and then I think this is an improvement over the normal ToneX but it's not night and day. So it doesn't nullify everything that's already been captured. I thought that would happen where it's like, oh, you gotta throw everything out, but really is not. Especially the way I had done a lot of the captures in the ADA MP1, like I was doing it sometimes with the BBE and the EQ and all that kind of stuff, and the Furman as the boost. Those I think are still as valid, but I probably will go through and do another round of ToneX stuff. It's a little tough to find the time to do it because, in all honesty, it's like it's doing it as a service. I won't make any money on it because like I would just do it as an update. So like it could be a week and a half of work or more. That's not really fun work. It's like technical drudging work just to go like, and it's updated, and you know, I don't even make $5 off of it. So it's just a time thing. I wish I had an assistant that I could just be like, yo, do this. But I mean, I don't really make money off of the profiles and stuff. Because, well, let's talk about that. But first, I'm going to put some ice in this cup. So here you go. You're going to look at, what are we going to look at now? We're going to look at some good old Skippy. So you don't see my legs and my creepy shorts. These are my walking shorts. So they're a little exposed, a little nude. Yes. Now I have iced coffee as I wanted it in the beginning. And I'm realizing that I chose all cuisine that is the loudest and crunchiest and noisiest. Not the best streaming food and drink. Oh, it's arrived. Give me one moment. Oh, I feel like He-Man. I have the power. Mm. Mm. Oh, good. So I'm gonna say something. I don't even shoot. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yes. You know, because I've seen a bunch of the official Dave builds on his pedalboard, and follow him on Instagram because it's cool. They're finally putting up a bunch of their rigs and stuff. I think it's, what is it under? Got to be under Dave Friedman, Tone Merchants. I think it's under Tone Merchants, Rack Systems. One of those three: Tone Merchants, Dave Friedman, or Rack System. But they're putting up the rigs and pedalboards they've built over the years, and it's awesome. And you could see some that he's built into his pedalboard, and I really think it makes sense because it's kind of meant for like an RJM switcher in the front, and then you put all your shit behind it because you're just dealing with your switcher and maybe a boost pedal and your volume pedal or something. So for that, it works great. So yeah, I'm still coming back and forth on like what I'm doing. So fickle with that. I mean, it would be so much easier if I just was like, I use an HX stump and that's all I do. So I'm happy. And then I practice guitar all the time. But instead of practicing, I'm like, yeah, I could play a couple things. Let me build a new rig. Let's figure out, let me reinvent the wheel again. Oh, look at this, yeah. I have a buddy who owns a BE50 Deluxe. Just with the logo. You know what? Okay, so at Guitar Fest, Sweetwater Guitar Fest, funny because there were even some endorsees of other companies and stuff that they had finished their job of pitching like their digital product with a FRFR, and I talked to them before, and they're like, "Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's great." And then if you saw my video of the Guitar Fest, which I think I put out today, you could see the rig that Dave put together with like 8 of his heads and a switcher and Hotone for effects and stereo with two 412 Friedman cabs. So then people would sit down and just be like, "Oh, are you joking?" The 20-watt Jake head sounded like a 100-watt head. No one, they'd be like, "So what am I playing through?" I'm like, "Oh, you're on the Jake." They all sounded unreal. Unreal. It's the thing you sit down and you're like, that's where you go, yeah, I'm not even thinking about the amp anymore. I'm just going to go cry and go into outer space with my head and play the noodles that need to be played, that demand to be played through a 100-watt rig with 2 412s in stereo. Hey, Steven. Yeah, so I started an 80s cover band because with a bunch of dads that are very good musicians and a singer that's excellent. And so our first sort of soft launch is at a brewery in town called McLeod's. We are called the Arcades because it's like arcade 80s, Arcades. Yeah, there's an Instagram. I just built an Instagram yesterday called the Arcades Band, I think. And when I get footage and stuff, I'll post. But we don't rehearse a lot. We just rehearse like twice. And so am I using the Astro? I love the Astro still. I still have it. I think it's great. I'm not going to use it for this because I can clean Blue Galaxy and another Blue Galaxy. But if I could stretch that into having 2 fully independent EQ sections, that would be perfect. I could totally go with that. So I was considering, okay, here's the can of worms. Then I was considering, what about the X88 and going full rack? Then I loaned my X88 IR to Andrew Sinowick, the like best guitar player in the world, the session dude, and for him to try out. So I just kind of don't have it right now. And I was thinking, well, maybe a synergy, do like an Imperial and then the BE Deluxe side, or maybe the new JMP side. By the way, on the Friedman Deluxe BE Deluxe module, if any of you have that, open it up. There's a gain switch in there. Go low gain. It is awesome. I mean, if you're a high gain guy, okay, don't do that. But if you're you want to, it's a more versatile that way. I wish I could have one channel in low gain and one on the high gain. But I think it's just, I always feel this. On the lower gain, the sound gets bigger. It's more dynamic. There's more punch, just clarity. So that'll give anything a run for its money. So am I using the Astro? No, but never say never, because I haven't brought the same rig to the rehearsals twice. It's been completely different. I brought a Friedman small box, the Wildwood, which was great. And that's been, I think, that, and then I had the Plexi with the LPD pedals for drive. Those two have been the big winners. I had my Bogner 50, the Ecstasy 50. That was really good, but it really wants to be loud, like really loud. And so I feel like there's a bit of a balancing act in that. I like it in the studio a lot because that clean channel is beautiful. And then what else did I? Oh, and then I tried a ToneX. And I was fighting that, man. But I do have, okay, so I have the fly rig, so to speak, which is like, we're doing a thing for my kids' school. So we're just going to go play 3 songs. And I'm going to do ToneX, and I have 2 of the ToneX cabs. So at least I think stereo will help fix the problem with digital rigs for me. Digital rigs have no front to back depth and kind of lose a top to bottom depth. And then they have a harshness, but the stereo-ness will kind of phase out some of that harshness, add a little left-right depth, which will compensate. That is the thinking. We'll see. No idea. But the Astro might come into play again. I'm not sure. I think the next one to try might be like, I also don't want to have a 15-minute setup. I want to be able to get in and get out, which is why I wasn't even using effects loop. That was kind of a cool thing about using the Plexi. It's clean, so it's just a huge Marshall power amp. But if I was willing to use the effects loop and plug in a bunch of cables, I'll use the Tone King Imperial pedal, preamp pedal on the floor, into the Friedman Jose with like extra drive pedals, like I'll take the 79 for a little thing, and then a boost, and then my effects and a controller, MIDI controller. It gets big. I don't know. It's one of those things like, yeah, it's a lot of wasted energy. Not only, it's a lot of time invested. What else would I be doing with my time? I don't know. I guess I could start an AI company or something. That's what the world needs. Another AI company. Khalil, you met Dave at GearFest. Is that the Andy Wood one? The tones he was getting from his amps are unreal. Yes. I'm sure they were. Oh, yeah. Horse Bengay for the win. Yeah, I know. The cost of living. Although, the number of times I'd be getting lunch hot dogs would be a problem for me. Love a hot dog. Dude. Love a hot dog. And I love honey. I got put honey on anything. I love mustard and honey. Okay, give me a minute. Hey, let me plug this too. Peter Ahrens has a pedal that absolutely blew me away. And then Peter, you got to put in what the I forgot what the name is of the pedal. Is it automat? Right. Okay. Okay. Good. Ooh. AUTOMAT. Which I think he said was like automatically good tone. Which yes. So he has one called the triple ganger. The A has the little 2 dots on top. I mean, everyone I tried was really good, but this triple ganger has taken octave pedals like the Octron, low octave and high octave. It's not like a super clean, not like a Boss OC2. It's cooler than that, where you get that sort of like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Octron. It's more Jack Whitey, more Muse. It's like cooler. So cool. And then you get a high thing with fuzz. So you've got 3 sounds. It's humongous, but appropriate for blues, heavy, anything. It is so cool. And it crushes the Octron. Octron was like untouchable for 20 years to me. But every time I'd record it, I'd be like, it's like it just kind of sits in a weird way. It's hard to record. This just big. Automat triple ganger. Check that out. Oh, well, that's a tough one. The Synergy module, well, there's a couple things you have to consider, like what are you playing it through? Is it, I love the Syn 20 IR, but the Syn 20 is a little bit more compressed than if you were running into 50 or 100 watt power amp. And the LPD, I've kind of just been running into the Plexi, the clean Plexi. So it's already has that DNA and it's just waiting to be unleashed. Well, that's not true because I was running it into the Marshall module yesterday and it sounded great. So it's a little different. If you haven't gotten into the Synergy system, I think you should look that way. But as far as Rockin Marshall style pedals go, my favorite is that 79 and the Friedman small box are my favorite for that mid lower gain thing. Those two have like, I've been using the small box for a long time, and then the I would say the small box has a little more mid punch, and then the LPD has a little more of the low end note punch. I mean, these are subtle things. It's kind of hard to, how do you describe like one Marshall against another? But yeah. Yeah, the Dimension D rack is great. I wish they had put a mix blend knob on the pedal, the Waza pedal. I could really go for that. But I have one of those and it's super. And Mike Torin, the keeper of all things rack, he loaned me one, and so I was able to A/B it, and the pedal's quite close. I mean, the rack still was clearly 5% better than everything else, but I think the pedal might have been better than some of the like plugins and stuff too. Oh, I saw those Rock and Roll Relics pedals. Those look really cool, but I've not seen one in person. Perfecto. What's up, dude? And congratulations. I saw you hit like 350,000 subscribers. That's amazing, man. Congrats. That is no small feat. Oh, here. This is what I always forget to click. I'm sitting in my own world. All right. Okay. So what should we look at next? How about this one? Hey, Mike, how do you like the? He just took my napkin and bailed. How do you like the new Synergy Marshall Jam P? I think it is great. It's really good. Really, really good. You know what, dude? Honestly, like that Syn 20 is a stupid deal. Everyone should have a Syn 20 IR because it's like, look, and I qualify this as like, if you're someone that constantly buys gear, which many of us are, then you absolutely should have a Syn 20 IR because I think it's the best overall sounding platform for the Synergy modules. I have a Syn 2 with a Syn 5050, also good, louder, but I think the Syn 20 IR sounds better across the broad spectrum of modules. No exception with the JMP. I thought it works great in the Syn 20 IR. I can answer that question. That's a yes. That's what I do with the 1959 Super Lead. A low input, and it's just clean, like a Marshall power amp, really, with a little extra tone controls. All the gain was coming from the 79 pedal. Oh, awesome. That X80, the X100B is funny because it can go from being the worst sounding amp to like, oh, this is really good. You have to unlock it. Oh, that was super fun, dude. Thank you for indulging our guitar nerdery. That was great. Do it on the weekend. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll just do it on the weekend. I was asking when I should do the show. Amanda, happy Sunday. Ben's sister. Ben is Amanda's brother. How about that? Amanda, I think, has only posted one time that I could remember on her Instagram, I think it was, of her singing, and it was great. Not kind of good. It was great. I wish she would post more. I was thoroughly impressed. Best time for a live stream, midweek or Saturday morning? Oh, Saturday morning. Tend to have stuff to do on Saturday morning, but But maybe that is a good one. What one would be to go with? I mean, I think it's kind of easy in that, like, if you want to Marshall, low gain Marshall. Well, there's a 74 also that's really low gain. So if you're running your Marshall on a crunch, the 74 is cool to like push it over the edge. Or if you're more like you just want like a more strummy thing doesn't have so much bite. But the 79 is the rocker mid gain, and then the 87 is the high gain, like modded 800 stuff. Hola. Are you back? What do I think of the new Line 6 Powercab CL that has no tweeter? I haven't looked. I actually didn't know that, but that kind of makes sense. Guitar doesn't really need a tweeter. None of our amps, none of our cabs have tweeters, so it's a little silly to have it be that full range. Now that I have two ToneX cabs, one of the things I want to try is take a real amp like the Sin 20 IR. So I have that in the center and then run the IR outputs stereo to the ToneX cabs because they're light and they're easy to carry. And that's a really quick and easy way to get a wet, dry, wet. But, you know, considering that my band stage that will be on is probably about 4 feet by 3 feet, I don't know if I can even squeeze a wet, dry, wet. I know Pete Thorne really likes that. He's had that on several boards that he's shown. Yeah, that's right. You mentioned that too. I gotta check that out. Would a LPD 79 go well with my Friedman Jose? I found the Jose to be a little finicky on pedals. Like it didn't just go, yeah, give me the pedal, because I think maybe because it already has, depending on where you're set up in the gain stage realm, there's a lot going on. If you're more in the like no clipping diodes, then yeah, you can push. There's room to push it. But if you're already in the kind of going into the heavy realm, it's already kind of pushing itself. So I don't know. That might be a little too many things there. It's like adding hot sauce to hot sauce. Probably better off with like a great boost pedal. I actually don't know what else they make. What else do they make? Dry bell pedals. Something like a vibe. I got some kind of like preamp thing. Oh, this is cool. Do I think TC will ever release a real 2290? Nope, I do not think they will. Especially since they seem to have shut down their entire TC electronic department. I think anything else TC will just be a label that they throw on it. And I don't even think we'll get anything else TC, honestly. I think they'll just, yeah. It's such a drag. That happens, you know, the big companies do it. Gibson's done that with a bunch of companies where they're like, I don't know how much value we have in spending money to promote this side company. We'll just, label it Behringer. Cool. No, Leon loves that thing so much, the new ones, and I bought one, and I had a problem with it only that the neck was like almost like an Ibanez, not quite a gem, but maybe like an AZ. It was very, for something that was, the one I got was the vintage Ultra Lux thing. It's calling something vintage. It was a flat neck, and it was like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. That's not what I was looking for. So I ended up returning that. But pickups. I think I used my Friedman dual humbucker Cali on that, I think. And that has a JB, Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge, and a Friedman Classic in the neck, which I think the Friedman Classic in the neck is my favorite neck pickup I've ever heard on humbuckers. And the JB is just a JB. It's super great. Use it. What pedal would you use in front of the little sister to get a Sykes vibe? Maybe a BEOD, because the little sister is rounder, more mid, and then the BEOD kind of does that. I think that might be a good way to go. Off to board a plane. That man is on the move. Can I compare the JEL to the twin sister? Can you tighten up the twin sister to sound like a JEL? Does the twin sister do round, mid, breakup, GTM 45s cleans? I've heard the twin sister can be a bit bottom heavy. It can be, but then in the latest iteration of it, which I think is the twin sister, there's a tight switch, which kind of fixed that from the Dirty Shirley, which was the earlier version. I don't think you could really compare these two amps. You cannot tighten the twin sister up to sound like the JEL. The JEL is so inherently percussive and clean and tight. They're just kind of two, one's over here and one's over here. I mean, you could get like a Friedman Buxom boost and really cut the bottom out of the twin sister, but it's just not going to have that sort of clean, punchy tight. But the twin sister does do that round mid breakup. GTM 45 cleans. I love it for that. It's great. It's really great. That Reload 2 is fantastic. And then I lent it to a friend and went back to the power station, and that was really fantastic. I think, you know what, there is something about the tube power amp that's really nice. But, you know, and we used the Reload 2 at Sweetwater Guitar Fest for Dave's amps, and it sounded great. Hello. Guten Morgen. Have you compared the Marshall to the Blue Amp one? Yeah, I thought the Blue Amp one is excellent. Fantastic. Great gigging thing, but I couldn't get, it felt too solid state for me. It felt like it was overly tight and stiff compared to like the Dirty Shirley Mini or like a BE or the Marshall. It's like it was here in size, and then the tube amps were here in size and more complex. Not that it sounded bad. It was just crisper and more linear. At least the version I have, which was kind of maybe 5 years old at this point. It's changing a bunch. My favorite to play is Tom Sawyer. That's super fun. And actually, Voices Carry from what are they called? You know, I forget what they're called. I haven't finished my coffee, but that's great. Hush, hush, keep it down now. Voices carry. Oh, yes. Very nice. Many amps. That's the way to go. This is the way. Yeah, that's a killer one. Killer. Oh, nice. Yeah. Sorry, just thinking like, Source Audio makes it. It's called the EQ2. It's the size of a Boss pedal. Digital EQ programmable. So MIDI wise, you can change it per patch. So you could hit like, cool, I want to go to my blue, and then I could roll off the top. So it's like a warmer thing, or I could change the level. Super functional pedal, very clean, like zero latency for a digital thing. Really great. That's also a really cool option if you're MIDIing. Yeah, I wonder if my bandmates even know. Although they do ask, they're like, what is that? What is that? No one ever comments. We all comment on the keyboard player because he nails the sounds. So when he hits like the beginning of Jump, it's like you hit a time machine. So they're like, everyone's like, that's so cool. No one says that for the guitar. All right, well, this is not good for me, right? That's going to be a problem. Yeah, IRX is totally possible too. I was considering doing the IRX instead of the ToneX for my little grab and go. But we'll see, you know. Okay. Bang computer errands, automat audio devices, the Triple Ganger. Super cool. Octave fuzz. The best octave fuzz I've ever heard. Hands down. You play through this, you'll fire your bass player and singer. It'll just be you and the drummer. Oh, I didn't know that. I have not heard that. I have played through one of his amps and it was excellent. I have no doubt that that's very good. Loudo. Oh, I'll have to look. I don't know if I'm wild about that name. I'm going to do a quick Google. Loud guitars. Oh, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Kind of more groovy. on the groovy side of things. Best synergy modules so far: the Tone King Imperial, the Dr. Z, the Marshall, the BE Deluxe, the Uberschall. The D-Rec is pretty good. I had it and I'm like, can I match the head? And I was like, oh, it's real good. I know I'm missing it. The Vi one is really cool for stuff. The Bassman. The Ecstasy is really nice. Oh, I'm blanking what it's called. The Killer Cali. Killer Cali. It's got the angry. Recently service. I don't know, man. Every vintage piece of gear I have is just dying, and it's like I have an API channel strip that needs to get repaired. I have a Echoplex that needs to get repaired. Recently, I had my 2290 repaired, PCM 70 repaired. It's exhausting at some point. So then to pay 2,300, and not, you got to make sure that thing is 100% working. Like give you a week once you receive it before you return it or something like that. Oh, and you get a treat. Right, buddy. Right. You get treats, huh? Yes. That's a good pro tip. Not the Hot Rod edition. I have tried the original Revival Drive. I thought it was quite good. And when I was looking for pedals in this recent go round, I did check out the Hot Rod videos, and that was on my list of things to. I was just started buying stuff. I bought the Boss, the one that's programmable, the yellow, bigger one. I had a bunch of stuff coming in and then it's like as soon as I hit the LPD pedals again, which I had at my house except the 79. Once Lawrence sent me the 79, it was like, oh, brakes. It was like done. That's groovy. I'm good. Thank you for watching. Oh, dude, thank you. I mean, technically, I kind of haven't even released this album. I don't know. It's just the world is a weird place. And then you put out an album, like, I don't know. What do you do? I just don't have the time to promote it and like go visit, like fly to Robert's channel and fly to Phil's channel and promote and even relearn the songs to play them again. It's like so hard. So it's just been kind of sitting there. I have albums on it's for sale on my website, like Michael Nielsen Music. And I believe in my heart, it's a really good album of listenable stuff, and especially represents me of the like last year. So I think it's good. And one of the issues with it is because it does represent me, it's not a single thing. Like I think some people would have really liked it just to be a super heavy thing. And then some people would have really liked it to just be like 80s studio, like Landau, Lukather kind of stuff. But it's got a little of a bunch of stuff. So I get a lot of like people tell me like, oh, I really like this song. And it's this. But it's not, I love the album. They're like, I like this song and this song. Okay. And then someone else will go, I like this song and this song. I don't know. I just tried. We'll see. But yeah, it's available when I put out another. I don't think I'll ever do another one. I think what I'll do is like when I'm done with this at some point, I'll probably do compilations on YouTube or something, because I don't even know if there's a point of putting stuff on Spotify. Spotify doesn't want to have you, they only want Taylor Swift's. At least YouTube, you know, promotes or pushes out someplace, you know, if it's doing modestly well for that kind of stuff. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, I will do that. Totally. So, and this is not a diss on the 74, the LPD 74, but I brought it to a friend. I was like, he was struggling, and I was like, I think I have the pedal for you. So I'm like, here you go. And it just didn't have enough gain because he's running clean on a Fender Hot Rod DeVille or something, and he was running a Rat pedal, and it just full blast. And so the 74 isn't going to compete on the gain level of that stuff, whereas the 79 has a pretty significant amount of gain if you crank it. You know, it's not Metallica, but it's, and especially if you boost it, you're super good. But I do like that 74. If you have a mildly driven sound, it does a great job of pushing, and it sounds big, and you know, it's really good. Ooh, I think Dry Bell Vibe Machine. That's the one that Dave was saying. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. There are some of the more recent Marshall amps that are really good. But what I find is like there's a couple modes that are really great for me. And then there's some modes where I'm like, I will never be visiting this mode again. And it's like my album. So I shouldn't complain, you know? Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'll probably end up just revisiting just starting again, because a lot of people don't go back and watch your old content, so they just wait for the next one. So I'll just start again. I'll do it again. I think someone needs to do a rack format. I think if Fractal did a 1U effects only, I would have been all over that. And not just 4 effects. I have the VP4. It's great. Sounds great. But it's can be a little limiting as a floor pedal, because then you're like, well, I'll put these two the drive and a compressor in front, and then the reverb and delay, but now I can't have a chorus. So it wants to, I just needed a front end section and a back end section, like 4 and 4 or 2 and 4, whatever. But if it was in a rack format, it would only be in the effects loop, and 4 would probably be fine. So, hey, Hen, I'm on a live feed for my channel. So you could carry on, or you could come visit her. Oh, hello. That's my son. He's big. Yeah, I know. That would be really cool. That was a thought. Oh, Dave says he thinks you could turn a twin sister into a JEL with a Buxom boost. I don't know. Maybe Dave says, and you know, yeah. Look, believe it or not, I don't know. Seems like a long way to go for me. I haven't played the Golden Pearl for a while. I mean, that kind of came out real quick and then kind of got pushed aside. I think it needed another name. Very cool, dude. Yeah, they make great stuff too. Oh, that's cool. I kind of fell in love with that album. I was like, okay, I get it. When it came out, I just wanted the more metal stuff, you know, the funk metal, and I know, right? I forgot about the Pitbull mono. The Deliverance module is another great one. The Pitbull is great. Yeah, so I mean the Deliverance and the Pitbull are pretty close. Just it's like different way to skin a cat, but they kind of get to this. They can get to the same place. Oh yeah, the IRD is the sleeper of the lineup because it'll do everything in between. It's real good. Oh, hey man, just send me an email. But thank you. Send me an email. Ah, thanks, man. That's so nice to hear. Super sweet. I've never played one that's like with the bendy frets, so I really can't comment on that. I've played fanned frets, and I don't love it. I have it on a bass. I guess it makes the low string sounds great, but I do miss on occasion. I'll miss because I don't play bass as much because of the fanned out frets. I know, right? This guy thinks he knows how to change a twin sister into a Jakey Lee. Yeah, that Andrew's chorus is so good. Is it even worth getting a Sin 1? Yes. If couple things. If you are just gonna, if you're just gonna record direct, I'd still say get the Sin 20 IR because then it has the power up simulation stuff. I think it'll be better. But if you're just, let's say you have a Fender Arad DeVille and you're like, well, I love the clean sounds. They're great clean sounds on there. And like, you're like, I want to have a Friedman dirty stuff. Then yeah, just throw that on top. And then you could do a 4-cable method and it's great. So that's what I would say the Sin 1 is best for, as an amp expander. But yeah, that's what it's best for. Or if you have just another preamp. If you have a preamp system, you just want to throw a little bit. But Sin 2 is a little easier to maneuver size-wise in a rack. All right, I made it to the end of the question stuff. Yeah, I want to finish this. I didn't finish. Now my bagel is like rubber. So I'm going to go eat. We've been talking for an hour 20. I genuinely appreciate everyone commenting and even just showing up. That's super cool. I thought there'd be 3 of us. So yeah, really awesome, gang. Have a lovely Sunday. It's 9:41 in LA. Going to go watch some F1 in a little bit. And it's playoff season for baseball. Dodgers beat the Phillies yesterday. Just barely. I like the Phillies too, unless they're playing the Dodgers, but they're a good scrappy team. All right, gang. Have a lovely day. See you next time if I can figure out how to turn this off. See you later. Maybe. No?